And suddenly you think of yourself as like, am I a lame content creator? Like, does the algorithm hate me? Am I lazy? Stuff like that. And that is not the point. So in this video, I'm gonna break that down because I know that feeling so well. I haven't even made like 10 videos on YouTube. And I do want to change my niche all the time. Like, I'm like, I want to talk about this. No, I want to talk about this. No, I want to do this, blah, 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 blah. Like when you're creative and when your brain goes like 24/7, it's really hard to kind of sticking to one thing or maybe even 2 or 3 things. So that's what I'm going to talk about today because I cannot be the only one. So for example, a good example on this one, I'm wearing a blazer, but I'm also wearing like my pajamas pants. So that's how I'm like, I can't commit to one niche. But I am like, my mission here is to be like the most authentic version of myself possible and to help as many people as possible to build their own personal brands here on social media. I work as a brand strategist in a Danish agency in Copenhagen, and I work with brands every day. So I'm gonna teach you some of the things from that perspective, but I'm also gonna talk about kind of the human psychological part, like with changing your niche. Because when you change your niche, it actually feels amazing. And it can be a little bit exhausting for your audience because you have to talk about, or you have to kind of think about social media as kind of your favorite TV show. If you love to watch, I don't know, Friends, for example, and you kind of know it's a little bit predictable what's going on, you know the characters, you kind of know the plot. That's how people also think when we follow our favorite content creators. For example, the brain loves predictability and it loves to be entertained through that. So kind of that's why a niche or like a signature style or series or stuff like that is so important when you want to take your social media seriously. Let's get into the pattern a little bit. It's kind of like you're posting. You have a niche, you feel excited, everything is going like smoothly and stuff like that. But then like nothing really happens. You're not like getting comments, you're not getting likes, you're not getting engagement, and you feel a little bit like, ooh, in your brain, like, what's happening? This is not the way it's supposed to be. Like, I'm really hard at myself right now, maybe in my social media and stuff. And this can be like devastating when you're really trying, you want to put yourself out there, but like, it's kind of like nothing is really coming back to you. That's actually called identity threat. That means like you are kind of threatened in your identity, and from like a psychological standpoint, this actually means that it can almost feel dangerous to your brain because you're not getting the positive affirmation from your world around you or the digital world around you that you feel like you are supposed to have. And this is really hard, and suddenly you think of yourself as like, am I a lame content creator? Like, does the algorithm hate me? Am I lazy? Stuff like that. And that is not the point. The point is just that you haven't stayed consistent within that niche. And like, I'm a brand strategist myself. I know this myself, and yet I am a little bit bad at taking my own advice. So I'm also on a journey of staying more consistent in my niche. I would say my niche is I really want to help people do their personal branding online. Like, I think that is so interesting. Let's talk a little bit about the pattern now. You start posting, you found your niche, you're very happy, everything goes good, you're excited about your content, but yet you're not really getting anything in return. You're maybe not getting as many likes as you wanted, comments, or any kind of engagement. And you feel like this is really hard. So you do what's the most comfortable thing and you change your niche. You're like, oh, maybe I don't want to talk about sport. I want to talk about reading or something. And that's why your audience gets confused, because the people who are actually trying to follow you for your, for example, sport niche or anything like that, it's like, wait, where did that go? And now I'm a little bit confused and stuff like that. And if we just remember the TV show analogy, like, okay, you want to be predictable, you want to be somewhat educational or just create like very entertaining value for your audience. So why does it feel so good to change your niche? Well, what your brain does from a psychological standpoint is actually trying to protect you from failure. And that can be like, I love my brain, but I also like, she needs to be quiet sometimes. Because what your brain does is that it's trying to protect you from also, you feel like maybe you've posted a lot of content, you know your niche, but you're starting to feel maybe you're getting a little bit cringe, or like, oh, I only got a few likes on this video, this is not nice, blah, 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 blah. And you start to like regret, and you start to pull back a little bit. And this is where like 99% of all content creators goes wrong. You need to go through that like cringy phase that is like you figuring out your content, you figuring out your niche. I feel like I am myself in that phase a little bit right now. I just know that I want to help people online with the things that I know and my like professionalism and stuff like that. And I just feel like, yeah, that's just very important to have in mind, because progress is uncomfortable, and sometimes changing can be like a really good relief in the brain, but sometimes you don't need relief. You need to stay in the uncomfortable and actually going through it with consistency.